What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Cjthecheesedj here, and we are back with another Warhammer video for you guys today. And today it is the High Elves versus the Norsca. So guys, let's get into the army compositions and get into the battle. So we're playing as the High Elves, and our infantry line is pretty much consisting of white lions of Trace, the spearmen, more spearmen, another group of white lions, and the keepers of the flame, the Phoenix Guard. These guys have got anti-large, so they'll be dealing with any sort of mammoths that the Norsca want to bring to us. And you can already see there is a mammoth over there, as well as some more spearmen and another group of white lions. This is a very infantry build because we just kind of wanted to try something different. We also have a Loremaster of Holith on the ground with the troops. And then in the skies, we have the Star Dragon. These guys were the big spending on the army. These guys are huge monstrosities, and they're going to be dealing some rather decent damage to the Norscans. And over here, we do have our princess on the Star Dragon as well. Now, she has quite useful abilities. She's got Volley of High Arrows, as well as the Talisman of Loak, and the Foe Seeker, as well as, where is it? There was one more. She does have another one that actually increases her charge attack. Now, for my opponents, this is going to be a very tough battle for us. So you can currently see they've got Marauder Berserkers, Marauder Hunters, Marauders, and then Marauder Horsemen. So a very anti-infantry front line. The Marauder Berserkers are easily going to be able to deal with my Spearmen and probably put up a good fight against the White Lions. But you can already see they're suffering pretty big damage from the miasma that their caster has casted. The Marauders are kind of just chaff that will get taken out by our White Lions as well as the Loremaster, but the Marauder Horsemen will be able to charge through our units as well as provide backup cover as Missile Cavalry. They then have another group of Marauder Champions, which are a really solid unit at 80 armor and like 38 melee attack as well as 56 melee defense. And then the backline of my opponent consists of a bunch of armored Skinwolves. Now, these guys are going to be dealing some major damage to us because of their anti-large ability. So we've got to be really careful and selective where we use our Star Dragons, because these guys are going to come in and they are going to shred through our dragons. So he's got those. He then has some Norscan Warhounds as well as the Norscan Ice Wolves, which do apply Frostbite, which actually slows down units. So if we're not careful with our Star Dragons, these guys can come in, slow us down, and then the Skin Wolves can come in and finish us off, because these guys have really high speed. You can see they're 84 speed, so they'll easily be able to catch up to us. He then has a Feral Manticore in the sky and the Marauder Chieftain on a Mammoth, as well as a Famir Balefiend of Shadows. So guys, let's get into the battle and see what we can do. So you can currently see here, we are just advancing our princess up because she does have armor-piercing missiles. We kind of mistargeted that one and hit the wolves. We were going for the Marauder Chieftain and the Famir Balefiend, but you can see there he's cast Arcane Conduit, which is going to improve the power reserves. And you can already see here, our Spearmen and our White Lions have just taken a huge amount of damage from the miasma that the Balefiend casted on us. Now, at this stage, we're kind of just waiting for our opponent to make the first move. We do have a slight range advantage with our princess because she is able to cast ranged attacks. So the Marauder Chieftain was slowly getting whittled down. You can see there, the damage is coming in, but our opponent had enough. He was like, let's move everything in at once. So here they all come. Our Star Dragon is coming in. He's going to cast a Fiery Breath down upon them. And the Marauder Horsemen are just coming in. They're going to start popping off spells. And another miasma is coming in. We tried to hit the War Mammoth. We did a solid amount of damage to him with the Star Dragon's Breath. But this miasma is just shredding our troops. And here come the Marauders clashing in with our White Lions and the Spearmen. And the Mammoth is going to come in for a huge sweeping strike. Here it comes. Look at this. It's just going to bowl over our troops. Look at that. Just straight through them. There goes our front line. We're like, well, this is great. So we're like, we need to surround this guy, get him pretty much shredded through. We've brought our Star Dragon down in to deal with the Feral Manticore as well as the Famir Balefiend. Our Loremaster of Holith, is going after the Famir Balefiend, and we saw that he was moving his Marauder Berserkers in to try to intercept our Loremaster. So we were like, let's bring him in, try and take out this Famir Balefiend so he can't cast any more miasmas. Our princess is firing from above. We've still got these two units over here. We just want to kind of keep them in reserve, because we didn't really want to send in all our units against the Mammoth, because look at that, he's already sent our White Lions and our Spearmen running for the hills, and our Keepers of the Flame couldn't really get into the best position to deal with the Mammoth. And the Mammoth is just such a big opponent. Like, he's just able to bowl over everything. So we really should have brought in some cavalry for this. I think the cavalry would have sustained itself a little bit better because they're on horses. They've got more girth and more mass. And the Keepers of the Flame are currently going up against the Marauder Champions, which wasn't the best bet. We did try to get them against the Marauder Chieftain, but it didn't really work out too well for us. We did manage to cast a Spirit Leech on him, however, though. So we're pretty happy with that. Our Star Dragon is firing from above. And you can see we've got another breath attack off on the Marauder Chieftain. Our thinking behind this is if we can take out the Marauder Chieftain, our majority of our infantry will be pretty safe, so we can deal with the rest of his units. But you can see here the Norscan Ice Wolves are coming in, attacking the Swordmasters, I believe they are. Yeah, Swordmasters. Keep forgetting their names. White Lions, but he does have the Skin Wolves as well, so we're just in for a world of hurt over here. The Werewolves just coming in and shredding our White Lions up. And you can see here, White Lions are definitely no match for Wolves. The Berserkers are just going to shred through our Spearmen. She's still firing up above. You can see the Marauder Chieftain is rooted finally, but at the cost of literally majority of our infantry. You can see here, we have barely any infantry left. The only sort of infantry we have left are this group of Spearmen and this group of White Lions. But our opponent has plenty of Hunters, there's plenty of Marauder Horsemen, and he's still got plenty of Warhounds, as well as the Skin Wolves and the Marauders over here. So we're just trying to whittle them down. We didn't really want to bring our dragons to a fight on the ground anywhere near these Skin Wolves because, like I said, they would shred through our dragons. So we've sent our Star Dragon after the Marauder Chieftain. Make sure he doesn't come back. Make sure he's rooted off the battlefield. Our Princess is going after him as well. She's going to be firing away. In hindsight, we probably should keep her here because she's going to provide some leadership. And our Lawmaster of Hoth, he's just doing whatever he wants. This guy's a real solid unit. We sent him after the Marauder Horsemen. We were like, probably not the smartest decision since these guys are on horseback and they will be a lot faster than our Lawmaster. But you can see there he did manage to take a bit of damage, so we're in a bit of problem here. But we send him up against the Berserkers, intercept them, and he should be able to deal some decent damage to them. You can see these guys are already up to 88 kills, but the Marauder Horsemen coming in from behind, they're just going to charge him, and this poor sod is just surrounded on all angles. Now, we do currently see this. We kill the Chieftain as well, and we're like, alright, turn around, all units head back to the main force. But you can see here, like, our army is in disarray. We've got a group of White Lions, we've got some Spearmen running off, we've got these guys all rooted. They're all getting chased off. This is a bad, bad place for us to be right now. Our Lawmaster's popped Foe Seeker, but even he can't stand up to two groups of this, especially the Marauder Berserkers and the Marauder Horsemen. You can see here, he has done decent damage to the Berserkers, but it's not enough. These guys are just shredding us. We do decide to bring the Princess in. We notice that there aren't really any Skin Wolves around except for these group that are pretty low. So we're like, let's get the charge bonus off and then back off out of there before more of these guys come in. And we're like, we need to get out of here now because look at the damage that these Skin Wolves are dealing to us. They're just shredding through us. We do pop our Talisman of Loak and Foe Seeker in just to try and get that extra melee damage in, get the extra speed and the extra vigor so we're not tired from battle. But these Skin Wolves, they're just dealing so much damage. And the Ice Wolves come in and we're like, we need to get out of here. We're going to be in serious trouble if we don't get out of here. Our other Star Dragon, where is our other Star Dragon? Our other Star Dragon is over there. So you can see there, we're just trying to chase off, fear everything, terror rout everything as much as we can. But these Skin Wolves are just dealing damage like no tomorrow. You can see how quick they're able to demolish our health. And we're like, we need to get out of here. Need to clear an opening, need to find a way out of here. Luckily, we do kind of clear this little area and we're like, let's get out of here. Let's try and take off. But like, these units are just, they're shredding us. So we're like, okay, we've got a bit of an opening. We can take off. She is rooted a little bit and the Lawmaster of Hoth is really badly damaged. Right now, the only thing that it's hinging on is our Star Dragon over here. But she's under attack by the Marauder Hunters, but luckily they are almost out of ammunition. Now, I don't believe we had any healing as well with our Princess. She doesn't have any healing spells with her, but luckily she did rally there, so she got a little bit of leadership back. Our Lawmaster of Hoth, he's broken, he's ready to go, he's just had enough of this battle, and we are in a really tight spot here. The only thing really going to carry this army to victory is the Star Dragon, but we are in a bit of trouble because you can't actually sustain a battle with just aerial units. You actually need to have some land-based units. Now, dragons do count as land-based units when they're obviously on the ground, but luckily we still sort of had our Lore Master of Hoeth down here. So we're just kind of, let's pop off a breath, try and deal with these skin wolves. If we can take, yeah, you can see here, flying units alone cannot hold the ground, land and attack, or surrender this territory. You can see there we kind of just wanted to try and take out these skin wolves, because without the skin wolves, I think we'd have a pretty solid chance of winning here. So we do pop off a couple of missile attacks onto these skin wolves. We're just trying to deal with them, trying to get a little bit of leadership back, and our Star Dragon here is going to try and pretty much chase after these skin wolves to deal with them. But we do need to land, otherwise we will lose this fight. You can see the balance of power is heavily in my opponent's favor. 2 troops against 303. It really isn't looking promising for us. So we decide to land the Star Dragon onto the skin wolves, get a bit of a charge bonus, and we do bring the princess in. We're like, alright, if we can use both dragons to work on the groups of skin wolves, we should be able to take out these skin wolves. Do pop another breath on the Marauder Horsemen, and they do kind of get routed. So that's a good sign. But our opponent really doesn't have any other way to deal with our dragons unless we land down and fight them toe-to-toe. So, yeah, like there's no ranged units left. The Marauder Hunters are pretty much out of ammo, and we're like, let's bring the dragons in. Let's try and terror route stuff, because these guys do cause terror, I believe. Actually, do they cause terror? Yeah, they cause fear. So they don't actually... Yeah, they do cause terror as well. That's what I thought. So... It's like, well, if we can terror out some of these units and we can keep them on the terror route, we can kind of bring our units in and they won't attack back. We just really needed to deal with these skin wolves. They were the real bane. But you can see here, our opponent just has so much left. And we've got nothing. We've got a couple of dragons. So we're like, alright, let's try and deal with these. Pop Foe Seeker. Let's get in here, try and finish off these Berserkers. These guys are quite hard hitting as well. They've got, what, 41 melee attack? So we're like, alright, so they managed to get pretty much routed as well. But the problem with routing enemy units is that they can potentially come back. But we do manage, thank God, to terror out these skin wolves here. So we're like, alright, this is good. But we've constantly got to fly off and land, fly off and land. Otherwise, we're going to be in trouble. And you can see here, our princess, we do leave her a little bit exposed, because we chase after some of the Marauder Berserkers and the skin wolves give chase. But we luckily managed to fly her back up into the sky, and you can see this pops up back again. So at the moment, we're kind of just interchanging the two, having one up in the sky, one on the land, and you can see here, like, like at this rate, I was like, we've got to be really careful here, like, if one mishap and we've lost this game. So we've got the Star Dragon taking on the Norscan Ice Wolves. Like I said, we were just trying to terror out everything, so we do manage to terror out the Horsemen as well. But our opponent's still got some Hunters coming in for some ranged attacks. And the Norscan Ice Wolves, once again, do get feared. But it's a close battle. He's still got... Look at all this infantry over here. Still got a solid group of Skin Wolves with 8 units left. Another group with 13 and 4,000 health. As well as this extra infantry over here. So we were just kind of terror routing everything. And I think we do get the terror out on the Hunters. Yeah, you can see there. The Hunters do become terror routed. The Norscan Ice Wolves are feared. They're not broken, but they are... they're not shattered, sorry, but they are broken, so they will come back eventually. At this rate, we kind of just wanted to land our dragons so we could get that land battle, but you can see the balance of power is slowly ebbing into my favor. We have managed to take out over half of my enemy army. You can see they're on 173 and now 165, and it is slowly declining. So we're like, alright, we're up in the sky, we need to land before it's too late and we get in trouble and we lose the match. And so pretty much my opponent's army consists of, what is it? A couple of hunters, Marauder hunters, Marauder champions, Marauders, and 2 groups of skin wolves. Their leadership is pretty solid. You can see there they've got, what is it? 31 leadership, so they are doing pretty good in the leadership department. But we're like, alright, so the skin wolves are pretty far away from the army. Let's get in here, deal with these Marauders, try and take them out, and we can, you know, deal some solid damage. And we do. We come in with the the princess on her Star Dragon, and she is able to take out these Marauders pretty successfully. Honestly, don't know what my opponent was doing, sticking his skin wolves over here. And even now, they are, I think he was just trying to give them a bit of a rest because they are very tired. And you can see that they are sort of walking back over here. These ones, I don't know where they're going. They're just running off. I think my opponent was like, alright, if we can keep these guys in the air long enough, we should be able to win this. Which is why I think he was pretty much parking all his units really far away. that was my thinking behind it, but we do manage to take out most of the Marauders. They are broken, and the Marauder champions are broken as... No, sorry, they're just wavering. But we do send the Princess after them, and the Princess and the Dragon is after them. So she's coming back in. She's going to dive back on these guys. Let's watch this. Carnage. Boom! Look at that. And she just pounces on them. Takes out majority of them. I mean, there's not much these guys can do against a dragon. Look at the size of her. It's great. So I was honestly like, all right, things are looking good. We got another terror out. They are shattered, and the leadership of these guys is shattered as well. And these guys are broken, so they should be able to get chased off the battlefield. But like you can see over here, like this is pretty much the center of the battlefield. The Skin Wolves are chilling over here. They're exhausted. They're walking around. They do have regeneration as well, which is another thing I think my opponent was factoring in. So they are slowly gaining health back. But you can see here, he has decided to move them in. And the Wolves over here as well are ready to go as well. So these guys are going to go in. And are they going in? No, looks like they're not. So we've managed to terror out and shattered the Marauder champions. So all that's left is 2 groups of Skin Wolves and the Norscan Warhounds. Now you can currently see the balance of power is back into the middle. I did not think I would be able to pull this off. I was playing this one so cautiously with these 2 dragons, and this was a really long match because it was pretty much my opponent with his Skin Wolves versus my 2 dragons. And like his Skin Wolves are pretty solid. Like you can see, these guys are regenerating health. So yeah, but luckily enough for us, he hadn't actually moved his 2 Skin Wolves in together. So these guys will pretty much get taken out really quickly because of their leadership. But they are still able to deal quite a bit of damage to us. They do get broken off. And right now, here he comes with his other group of Skin Wolves. We've got the Princess sent after these ones to make sure these guys don't come back. And we do start moving this Star Dragon because I'm like, if I leave this guy in combat by himself against this group of Skin Wolves, we are going to get taken out, like for sure. So we decide to fly him off, try and take care of these guys. But once again, this pops off. And honestly, I don't know what the time period is for flying units to be able to take to the sky and not come back down without forfeiting the game. But you can see here, there's what, 5 models of Skin Wolves left. And we're like, all right, surely 1 Star Dragon should be able to take on these Skin Wolves. We're going to find out because we need to just get onto the ground. You can see the Princess is coming back. These guys did get broken, but they are ready to come back as well. And here we go. Skin Wolves versus the Star Dragon. Let's see how this goes. We already managed to take out one, I think. That one definitely doesn't look like it's coming back up. But these guys, their anti-large capabilities are ridiculous. Like, the damage that they're dealing is so crazy. You can see here, we're already down to 2,300 health. I'm a little bit scared. Our Princess comes in now as well. Double terror. This is going to cause these guys to run away, I'm thinking. 2 dragons, surely they're not going to be able to deal with both of us. So I'm like, all right, come on, we can do this. We've popped off Talisman of Loek, and that's going to deal with that's going to give us extra melee damage and weapon damage. And we've pretty much broken them again. And you can see it's pretty much just a mad chase. These Skin Wolves have come back, but these guys are actually a little bit faster than our dragons. No, our dragons are a little bit faster. And we were worried that we were actually going to lose because they were so far away. But we won. Thank God for that. Definitely a long battle. I wasn't expecting to win it with 2 dragons against 300 units, that's for sure. But guys, we did manage to win this one, so thank God for that. The enemy just managed to bowl through everything with that mammoth. It was nuts. But then again, we did have our dragon. And the Norscan Ice Wolves and like my enemy's infantry line did do a solid amount of damage to all my infantry. Pretty much the cost of our Star Dragons was what we had, and the Keepers of the Flame, which did absolutely nothing. So yeah, guys, that was a pretty intense battle. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. It was really close, and I hope you guys were on the edge of your seats for it. But other than that, guys, thanks very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I will catch you in the next one. I got this soda.